we got to jump in, and I want to hear from both of you on this. Because one thing that has driven me crazy in my entire career in advertising, and you touched on it, Jared, brands want to be funny. Yeah. Brands know that there's an incredible advantage in being funny. Why, in God's name, do advertisers who are obviously going for funny landed zany or random so often, more often than they landed funny? There's just something, and then something crazy happens, and then the logo pops up. Why does that happen so often? Gentlemen, please, I am dying to know. You are the people who can tell me.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why it happens. He'll tell you how you fix it, right?
Okay, let's go.
We've been inside these rooms, right? We've been inside these creative rooms, right? At ad agencies, inside the halls of 35-story buildings, right? And where creative directors all think they're comedians, right? And creative directors all think they're script writers, and they all want to be script writers. So, and you love them, right? You appreciate the craft. You appreciate the craft in their training. But there's an arrogance, right? There's an ego. And they want to be the ones to create the spot. They want to be able to ones to talk around the water cooler and say, I wrote that, I did that, right? Like, how many times can you recreate the Kool-Aid Man, right? And so they all have this quest to be famous on their own versus bringing expertise that really understand the craft, right? So, and we always talk about, like, if my car is broken, I'm not going to fix it myself. I'm not a mechanic, right? Bring an expert in to fix the car so it runs right. If you want to do comedy, bring in the experts that know how to write comedy. And JB will tell you about that. It's a technique. It's a mastery, right? And so, but why you see it is because there's a lot of this over the top kind of, I'm going to go for like the goalposts on this ad. And it doesn't have to be. Subtle humor works in some cases better than, over the top humor. And so that nuance is mastered by writers and true comics versus copywriters. That's the problem. And that's also why 50% is outsourced. So how do you fix it? Over to my partner.
Yes, sir. JB, when I asked you this question, you said a sentence to me that legitimately changed my brain. When I asked you why people fail at funny and land at zany, what did you tell me? Do you recall?
You can't write comedy. You can't write. Look, you got to write real. You gotta write real first. Satisfy the client. Satisfy them with getting out what we're trying to sell here. How are we going to sell it? Who's your consumer? All these things really matter. Then you get that down. You write it real, and you adjust it to funny based on who's in front of that camera. You make them look great. You make the product look great. You write something that fits them so it looks great coming out of their mouth or whatever it is. But they have to coincide. They have to work together. But you have to write it real and satisfy what you need to satisfy. I'm telling you, I have been on plenty of sets, man, as a spokesperson in front of that camera, man. And sometimes I can see it about to crash and burn because it's the old DTM. You know what DTM is? Doing too much. The classic DTM kicks in and you're like this. And I just put my hand on my face like, oh no. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. You don't need it. Don't do it. You don't need it. And you watch as a brand or they keep adding things and keep spending more money. And sometimes the simplest form is the greatest thing ever. It becomes memorable. It becomes epic every time someone sees it because they saw it in its introduction and they said, man, I love this commercial. You know what I mean? As great as a time I had during the Caesars ad, I watched it and I said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It becomes too complicated of a world. Keep it epic. Now, epic can be epic, and epic can be epically funny. And it becomes like, ooh, I like what they're doing with this. They ain't trying, they ain't DTMing, they're not doing too much. They're letting what worked from the first commercial work. They let that do what it do. And keeping it epic keeps it original. You're not trying so hard. You're not trying and keep adding more people and making it more complicated of a world, and you're wasting money.